Hi guys, welcome to the Grapplers Academy. We are back with a continuation in the series of passing concepts and looking at how to tighten up and make everything that little bit more secure to level up your passing.
Yeah, so we're going to be building on what we've been looking at the past couple of weeks by adding a few techniques now. And it's still going to be on the concept of getting to the guard you want to pass. Today we're going to be looking at going into butterfly guard from standing and then taking a pass from there. And there's a few little details of a common pass that I've sort of added in I've sort of picked up as well from different places just to increase the chance of success. So from both sides. So we're starting off as we're moving around using the distance management and just sort of controlling your opponent, and we're going to try and cut the angle on them. So moving around, and as he starts to square up, both feet tend to come in front of you. Now we're going to dive down and we're going to grab the ankles, and rather than just sort of flipping and pushing back, I'm going to try and pull their hips closer to mine, so resulting in his back being where his hips are now. So I'm going to grab hold, pull and lift up. Once I get to here, it's important that I get either something in to control the hamstring, or I switch and drive the heels down towards the hips. This just gives me a lot more control over the feet, and it lets me get into my butterfly much easier. So once I get to here, I'm going to shoot my hips into the shins. And again, finding your balance here is really important. And then when I feel ready, I'm going to jump my feet backwards, pinch my knees together and clamp my elbows down. Now it's important here that we keep everything nice and tight and we try not to let them sit up. So we're going to clamp in, pull our elbows to our knees, and make sure that these can't extend as easily. Now once we get down here, we're going to be looking at this pass. So I'm going to tie my hands underneath the hips. By doing this, I'm going to take an S grip underneath his hips. I'm going to pinch my elbows up. Now I'm going to pass towards my left, so my head's going to go on the right hand side. I'm not necessarily trying to get it onto the mat, but I want my head and my ear on this side of the rib cage, and my shoulder's going to go on the opposite side. As when we land and when we're starting to pass, I'm trying to get shoulder pressure underneath the ribs here, just to help pin them, and it's great pressure to really try and control somebody who's really good at regarding. Now from here, I'm going to tie the hands together and I'm going to go to what I call active toes. So feet aren't flat on the floor, my toes are driving in. I'm going to drive my head down, listen to the rib cage. I'm going to jump up, trying to get as vertical as I can, and then I'm going to rotate my hips and then land. As I'm doing this, my elbow is going to be pushing that knee across the body as well. So with my hands, what I'm doing is I'm bringing my elbow across just to help minimize his ability to regard from this position. So once I'm here, tied under the hips, head down, shoulder pressure in, active toes, I'm going to jump up, land past this elbow across, and land and secure the hips here. Now once I do land, it's important that I really make sure I secure these, especially if you've got an active player who doesn't want to get past. This is going to be their main tool. So once I am here and they're starting to try and move around, I'm going to make sure I'm pinching and squeezing the knees together, and when I feel ready, I'm going to bring my left hand, or the hand that's nearest the head or the near side of this body, up to take crossface, and then from here I'm going to feed the underhook in and climb up towards side control. So we'll do it on the other side just so you can sort of see the detail of the elbow. Moving around, finding, lifting, shoving, diving my hips in. And again, when I'm trying to put my knees backwards, I do like to put my hands on the shoulders as opposed to the mat, because it's a tougher target for him to get hold of. And when I land, tucking everything in and pinching the elbows together. Once I'm ready, tying the hands underneath, head down, active toes, shoulder pressure in, and I'm going to go up, pass and land. And when I get down here, I'm pinching my elbows together and really trying to secure the position before progressing to side control. Now, there may be an instance or two where you overshoot the jump. It's not the worst thing. It's not you've failed the pass. You've just gone beyond where you want to go. You can still finish the pass. So, an example of this when you do go too far is you'll probably end up landing over the shoulder here All you got to do is make sure your feet are ready to take the landing, and then you're going to run all the way back, secure the hips here. So an example of this will be here, up, going all the way over, and then we're going to run back here. The good plus side to overshoot the jump though is the pressure into the rib cage is a lot more because you're really twisting, driving your weight into this part of the body, and these are pretty tied up, and then as you run back, secure the knees and the hips, it's very hard for them to re-guard from this position.
Yeah, there's a couple of nice things going on there, and he says it's a disadvantage in overshooting, but there's a couple more seconds where I've got that extra weight on my rib cage.
Yeah.
It's like a nil belly sort of pressure, and it feels pretty gnarly. I wouldn't want to be able to receive an end of that too much in practice with a heavier opponent as well. And a couple of other nice things as well, building on what we discussed in the weeks previous with the passing concepts. With that pressure on the head, it basically is compressing my spine in between my head and my tailbone on the mat. It's really difficult to move.
Yeah.
So when that pressure's on there and we're doing it properly and we're not kind of over-committing in terms of position, it's really difficult for me to try and move just because of the compression on my spine. And another nice detail as well that I really like on that is that tucking of the elbow. It's quite a subtle detail, but like you're saying, the difference between a small jump and a big jump, you can make that small adjustment and tuck the elbow and not have to do as big of a jump.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit tidier and just gives that less opportunity for any turn back in.
Oh, definitely. So I remember when I first learned this technique, it was taught as a headstand. So hands on the mat, head on the mat, up and over. But there's no hip security, so as soon as you're up in the air, if they shrimp out, you're likely to land face first on the mat and really scupper your chances of passing.
Yeah, nice technique. A lot of good transcendable qualities from that one into a lot of other different passing styles as well in terms of tightness, making sure you're keeping that security, head and shoulder pressure. So go back and look at the original videos in the series if you've seen this one first and not looked at the passing concepts and how to get into that position, because there were a few finer details in terms of how to control and manage your distance without overbalancing and putting yourself in a compromised position.
That's it, yeah. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, comment if you have any success or even troubles with these things that we've been looking at, and we can go try and go into more detail with these. Most importantly, share it as well. The better your trainer partners get, the better you're going to get as well. So spread the word and make sure everybody improves.
Everything at the Grapplers Academy. If you want to hit us up separately from that, coached by Si, the Bonafide PT, and we'll see you in the next video.